So, that last video might have not been clear. I just wanted to clarify it. I think it's important to record these because I really am losing hope out here. I do not have the support of my family, or it seems the healthcare system, with the exception of Denver Springs. Uh, they they are truly amazing over there. Uh, I do care for every healthcare worker out there, but I am sitting out here. Basically, what happened, I came here last night because I had 8 or 9 pain scale in my feet, and I was worried. I've been having suicidal ideations, making plans. I got a helium tank from Walmart. Basically, with helium, people put an oven bag on their head and run a hose into it, and your lungs don't know the difference between helium and oxygen. Within a minute, you pass out, and in 5 minutes, you're free from this shit world. And Denver Springs is taking care of me in that moment. And so I came here to the hospital because I keep hitting a wall when it comes to getting actual medical care for my feet, for this infection I have. And so if you're watching this video, you've seen all the footage over the last 3 years, maybe some of it. You might understand the concern. Anyways, I got here last night because it was the worst it had ever been. I mean, they're still looking really bad, and putting any weight on them is horrible. I have a walker now. That was a real battle to get it. Anyways, I came last night. I went to the emergency room. It was pretty routine. They drew a tiny little bit of blood after using an ultrasound to get a line in me. And then they did about a 5-second exam on my feet. Literally just touched it. I asked them multiple times, even when they were using the ultrasound, to draw blood. I asked the guy, could you please just, even just to try it, can you please put that on my legs so we could take a look and see if we see anything? This is a guy who's got to find a vein inside of, my arm. He says, oh, I wouldn't know how to do that. I wouldn't be good enough to do that. And so I feel like an idiot asking the question again. I asked them 3 or 4 times. There's 2 people there. They said, no, we can't do that. We can't do that for you. And I said, well, I'd like, I'm hoping to get an MRI. I asked every single person that came in the room for a follow-up MRI on the tendon damage, soft tissue damage, and unidentified growths in my legs. They were not confirmed to be neuroma or anything. They are still unidentified. It's obvious there's a problem. And so I asked the doctors. I had to explain my story to about 5 people. I was polite. I'm a yes ma'am, yes sir type of person. I don't know how to do that in a non-binary way yet. I do my best. But I even asked them, if they do some local anesthetic and make a small incision to take a look. I later found out from a psychiatrist that there's actual way to pull fluid out of your ankle to determine things. They refused all of that. I wasn't given a Tylenol. I wasn't given anything. I had 2 cups of water my entire stay. And then they lured me out of the hospital with a bag, a lunch bag. And basically, from the psych ward, the psychiatrist there was really nice, and he said he'd try his best for me. He was able to get me methadone I go to a methadone clinic. It does not help with pain relief. It's actually an opiate blocker. Um, and then I basically, after he left, things went downhill quickly. No one, you know, I didn't have a remote or any kind of call button in my bed. Uh, they demanded a urine sample, to which I refused because I'm not there, to for that. It's so insulting to have somebody ask you for a urine sample after they refuse to give you treatment. It's the most disgusting experience I can say. And this used to be my favorite hospital. It is no longer. I am so devastated right now emotionally, but basically, I found out after I woke up. This was about an hour ago. It's like 5 p.m. something now in Denver. I found out that the psychiatrist has succeeded in putting an order in for a wheelchair or a walker, and then the new person who was leading the unit in the psych ward came in, and he said, "Hey, you're here. You're going to be discharged. We're just waiting on a wheelchair." He had come in because I asked somebody for some food. I didn't understand if I had if anybody got lunch or anything like that. He said, "Well, you were refusing food." And I said, "No, that's not true. I've been asking for food since I got here. I haven't eaten. And, I've had maybe 1,000 calories in a couple days. And sorry for the misunderstanding." So he brought a menu in, a hospital menu, left, never returned. And so I'm sitting there. The guy comes right back in, the lead for the psych ward. He goes, "Hey, guess what? We can't get you a wheelchair or a walker. And, but we could get you a ride to Denver Springs. We don't usually do this. The person who's willing to do it for you is leaving soon, so you got to make a decision now. You can leave the unit uh, without a walker or a wheelchair and get a ride to Denver Springs, or you could wait." And I said, "Well, sir, I really am in some pretty horrible pain right here. I've got a bad situation. The more I keep walking on my feet, the worse it gets, And so he leaves, and I say, "Well, I'm gonna wait for the walker, the wheelchair." And he leaves and comes back in 30 seconds, says that "You've got to go now. We're not getting you a walker or a wheelchair." And that put me in tears at that point. I hate crying. It's gross. I don't like it when my heart takes a dump. Like it's gross. But if you don't cry, you're basically gonna get cancer or something like it. You have to do it. So I get, you know, I'm still being nice at this point. They call security up, and again, it's turned into one of these Jerry Springer bullshit episodes at the hospital where they call security to get the homeless guy to leave. Except I'm actually the nice person. I still don't get angry, but I'm crying at this point. I'm saying I don't understand why you would offer me lunch and then not follow through. I don't understand why you'd say I've been waiting for a wheelchair or walker. I didn't even know one was ordered, and now you're not going to give me one. You're going to give me a ride to Denver Springs, but now security's here, and you're just gonna ask me to leave. At this point, they're asking me to leave on foot, and they give me my backpack, and they tell me to get dressed to go by threat of security. And so I'm crying, and it's obvious I'm not faking it to have a hotel stay at Chateau Asshole here at UC Health. No offense, guys. It's not a fucking fun thing to stay in a hospital for anybody. I don't know where this assumption that, you know, homeless people are coming here to have a good time is. It's a horrible experience being homeless, and if you're hurting so fucking badly, you have to go to the hospital. You should be there probably, or at least provide a channel. a ride to a shelter from a hospital if hospitals are being bogged down with homeless people. So to end this gruesome stay here, I still cry, putting my clothes on. My heart is still dumping out diarrhea all over the place, and then they feel bad, so they come in. Hey, we found your wheelchair. We're sorry. Again, we're sorry. The guy who was supposed to give me an ultrasound to get a line in, who was making sarcastic remarks about, IV drug use. I haven't used a needle in 2009. Apologized last night after sticking me a couple times when it was supposed to be an ultrasound. Yeah, hey, I'm sorry, we'll go get the ultrasound. And now again, as oh, you really are in pain. Hey, we'll go get you a wheelchair, but we still don't have your walker or the one you can take with you. They put me in the wheelchair, hand me my bag lunch. Or actually, they haven't given me the lunch yet. They wheeled me all the way out here in the middle of the fucking parking lot. Well, I started recording it with my phone. I should have recorded it when I was up in the room, but I couldn't get my damn phone on there yelling at me. And so I come out here and, they leave me here. Someone comes running out after I start recording. I guess they would have had to have decided to get me a walker. Somehow somebody figured out they needed to get me a walker, and they brought it out to me, and then they handed me the bag lunch. To get this piece of shit off the hospital property was the vibe. The people pushing me in the wheelchair were being cordial. I will say the security guards were okay, but the staff in the psych ward are animals. I don't care how many homeless people have come here and given them a hard time. That wasn't me. That was not me, and I'm not an animal, but I was treated like one. So I'm unhappy right now, and I am having thoughts of killing myself. After 3 years of doing this, this has happened to me, I'd say, 15 times in 3 years. One to three times a month, I go to the hospital for this pain in my body. Since 2021, it is now halfway through 2024, and I'm done. I'd like to stay alive for my daughter, but I can't get any help with this, and really have no business being around her until I figure out what it is. And I'm willing to be wrong with that. I'm really I'm really unhappy. I called Denver Springs again to try and get a bed there. They cannot give me a ride. They said they have beds. Uh, there's no way to get there with public transportation. So I got to make a decision. It's also too late to get a shelter. So I'm either out here with my walker tonight, or I kill myself and just has stop this stupid thing, or I try to get to Denver Springs. I'm going to try to do that and stay in the fight in hopes of somebody seeing this and throwing me a bone. So I didn't put up a GoFundMe because I'm an asshole and I'm going to spend it on crack. I put up a GoFundMe because I'm having a real problem out here. It's a really bad problem, and my daughter deserves better than this. And I'm so sorry, Olive. There is a thing in life of making, stepping in shit, and no one is there to help you. It's not a safe place. You have to be so careful.